What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Charging Station podcast. It's your girl, Tracey Massey of Living My Empowered Life. Welcome to the shenanigans. Hey, girl, hey, girl, hey, bro, hey, bro. I hope you are doing well. If this is your first time joining, I'm so glad to have you here because you could be listening to anything, watching anything, but you chose to lend me your ear for this moment. And I don't take that lightly. If you are a returning listener, viewer, hey boo, I love me some you. I need everybody to go ahead and grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water, grab your wine, whatever your beverage of choice is. Go ahead and grab that thing and have a seat on the couchy couch. I am actually on the couch today. But welcome, welcome, welcome. So I still can't find my mug, y'all. I just moved, and so everything is just chaotic right now, but I've got my tumbler full of grape juice because at the time of the recording of this podcast, I am in the middle of a consecration and fast. So we're only doing fruit juice and water. So I have not had any tea. I have not had any coffee. Definitely haven't had any wine. But I guess I can, actually do. Anyway, let me stop. My mind went left. But thank you for joining, everybody. Go ahead and tap that hand sanitizer, have a seat on the couchy couch. I hope you all are safe. There's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. We got this monkeypox going on now. Rona is still out here with her line sisters out here in these streets. Y'all, please just be safe. I know we were stuck in the house and in the house board for a while. But please be safe because we ain't got time for these shenanigans. I'm still, I'm not still recovering, but my bout with Rona and her line sisters, oh no, I don't want that again. I lost pretty much half of my summer. So here it is, August, you might as well say. But I'm thankful to be alive. Anyway, if you don't follow me on the socials, join me on Instagram at Living My Empowered Life, Facebook, Living My Empowered Life, TikTok, Living My Empowered Life, YouTube, Living My Empowered Life. You get it, right? You get the gist. So we're just living my empowered life. But I hope that you follow and all that good stuff. Let's be social. Get connected. Anyhow, I got a story to tell. So I shared this with my email list, but I feel like y'all need to know this too because it was funny. And you my peeps. I'm going to share the shenanigans with you. So this past weekend, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity was in town for their conclave. The Qs, the Bros, the purple and gold. All right. They were all over Charlotte. Okay. This was not the weekend to be walking out of the house looking any kind of way. So I'm glad that on last Sunday, when I had my errands to run, I had to go to Target, do some stuff, I'm so glad that I put on a little piece of lip gloss and put on some clothes. I was cute walking out the door. Wasn't full face, but I wasn't busted like I normally am when I'm running errands. So I go up in Target, right? And I see a group of them, fine young men, fine men, okay? Walk past, paying no attention, blah, blah, blah. I go into the makeup aisle to get what I needed out of the makeup aisle. And the product that I needed was on the bottom row. So the last shelf, bottom row. And I see the product that I want to purchase, but I can't really tell the colors of like the shades of the product that I wanted. So I had to bend down. Okay. I bend down and still can't quite see because it looks like, how people are shopping and they put things in the wrong spot. So the makeup counter will have the shade under the bottom of whatever. So I was the shades up under the lip liner, but they weren't matching. So I actually had to get a closer look. So being that this is on the bottom shelf, I was like, all right, bending down is not helpful. I need to squat. Squatting, I got down just fine. I dropped it. I dropped it like it was hot. Okay. I was able to get low, real low. Okay. It was at that moment that my knees reminded me that we're not 21 anymore. My knees reminded me that I am a full 46 years old. And it was at that moment while I was squatting, I got my product, but it was at that moment while I was in full squat that I had to make a decision, and I had to make it quick. Was I going to ask for help? Because there were plenty of gentlemen around that could help me up. I was like, no, that's embarrassing. Like, I cannot. And I'm so glad I wasn't on somebody's dance floor with somebody's son, drop it like it's hot, and I get stuck. Okay. Let's just thank God for that. But I'm in the middle of the store. And this store in particular is always busy. So I would have had somebody to help me up, but pride got in the way and I didn't want to be embarrassed. I was like, no, let me figure this out. So then I had to think, well, am I going to do that awkward roll? Like, look, that roll. That roll where you down and you just kind of have to roll yourself out of a position. I could have done that, but then they were like, no, that would have been embarrassing too, because then everybody would have known that I was kind of stuck in this position. So I came to the conclusion to grab the shopping cart, and I maneuvered the shopping cart to kind of face the aisle that I was on. So, the displays and stuff. So it wouldn't roll on me, because that would have been embarrassing if I tried to get up and then the force of me getting up pushed that cart out of the way. That would have been embarrassing. So I maneuvered the cart to face towards the aisle where the products were, and I just kind of catacombs, the little bounce you do to try to give yourself some momentum, and said a little prayer right quick, Jesus help. And I came up. I didn't come up like the spring chicken, like I used to. Like I used to be able to pop it and bounce back up. Yeah, I didn't come up like that. I came up kind of slow motion, but I got up and I laughed at myself, and I said, "Oh, okay, it's hot." I'm out of that season where I can drop it like it's hot. I couldn't even pick it up like it was lukewarm. So, Megan needs, I have not. I was like, oh, okay, no more of that for right now. And as the week progressed, I was talking to someone, having a conversation, and I was telling her the story, adjusted, and still it's kind of chaotic. It's kind of overwhelming for me right now because I can't really find anything. I'm still trying to organize, put things in the place. You know how it is when you move. And I said, just like my knees had me adjusting to that moment, this move is having me adjust to this moment, and I'm just adjusting to the season. And looked at each other, and we were like, yo, that's a word. That's a word. That right there is a word. And so I went, and I got back home after our conversation. I just sat and I was just like, you know what? You really do have to adjust to seasons. Because it looks crazy in the middle of July, end of July, 1st of August, but you walk around with a bubble coat or winter clothing. That looks crazy. That is out of season. You have to adjust your wardrobe in order for it to fit the season that you're in. So why is it, or adjust our styles or adjust our plans to the seasons that we're in? Why is that? Why do we find it so hard to adjust in the season that we're in? And we season a pattern. We talk about winter, spring, summer, and fall. Every season has a different weather pattern. Every season has its own changes that comes along with it. Why is it that we don't look at our lives as like seasons and adjust accordingly? My pastor preached a message on July 17th, and I listened to it. I don't know how I missed it, but I listened to it today. And he was sitting by the brook, and God used ravens to feed him, and the brook gave him a nourishing supply of water. But then the brook dried up. And my pastor said something so profound, and it stuck with me. He said needed Elijah to move. He was putting him in a new season. And that got me to thinking, how many times have things dried up in our lives, and we thought that God was punishing us, or we thought that we did something wrong, when in fact it was a new season, and it was time for us to get up from the space that we into the new season. Ooh, when I tell you, I started thinking about that, like, ooh, I really was like, so what I'm in right now, it's not really chaos. It's overwhelming to me because I'm not adjusting to this new season. And that's what I need. Get overwhelming and you're in a new season. Could that actually be the harvest that we get so excited about? Like, I don't know about y'all. So I know there's a lot of people that listen that are churchy. You grew up in church, or you're in church, and there are a lot of people that aren't. So if you're ever in a black church and I learned something. Preface this that I have never harvested a crop. I've been on the farm one time when I was like 6 years old, and we went on a field trip. I knew right then and there farm life was not for me. But a few years ago, I learned, and I learned about what we shout about in church. Okay, so when everybody gets all excited about harvest time, I sit back and be like, "Ooh, child, no." I mean, I'm excited about the what's being produced and what we actually get to hold, but I'm not excited about actually going through the harvest. And here's why. What I learned is that they most work during the harvest time. You know why? Because those crops are ripe. And when you have ripe crops, that invites animals to come eat it, that invites insects to come eat it. When the season changes, it could take out the crops, depending, like, if it's too hot, it could ruin the crop. If it's too wet, it can ruin the crop. So you got to get in and harvest to that season. You have to work with the crop is ruined. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's why things are the way they are right now, because I really, truly feel that there are so many things that I have been working on and praying about and asking God about that are going to come at me so fast that I really need to the season. So how am I going to adjust to the season? I'm going to take my butt to bed on time. I'm going to get plenty of rest. Thank God for this consecration, because I'm eating more vegetables than I've ever eaten. drinking my water and minding my business, because I need to be able to adjust to this season, because when this harvest comes, I need harvest is hustle. Ooh, honey. Harvest season is hustle season. And when we get to that point, I need to have my mind right, my body right, my spirit right, like just prepared. When I say right, I don't mean like perfect, but just prepared. Because how many of us pray for things that we really aren't prepared for? Because I know a few things that I prayed for and got and squandered because I was not ready. I was not ready. So now my prayer life has changed. I say, God, I am asking you for this. But in the midst of that, Lord, prepare me to receive it. Prepare me for the heart in the, because personally, I feel like there are two things that are really, really hard. The easy part is sowing the seed. So saying the prayer, that's the easy part. The hard part is waiting. And the hard part is the harvest. Because we don't know how God is going to bless us. Just have, and I serve a really big God who can do exceedingly abundantly above all I could ever ask, think, or imagine. And I have a really big imagination. I dream big. Like my dreams are so big. I tell my mentor and my mentors, I'm gonna throw this dream out here, but I need you. I need you to pull me back, coming to pass. I realize that I have to get prepared for the dream to come to pass, because I'm like, all right, here's the dream. Let's do it right now. And it may not be time. I don't want to squander not another thing. Because at my big age, I know I got more life behind me than I do ahead of me. That's just science. But I don't want to squander another thing. So last podcast episode, we talked about alignment, how I just threw away all of the goals that I had written down at the end of 2021, preparing for 2022. None of those things aligned except for one thing. Now we're talking about adjusting. I'm going to be in a space where nothing goes to the wayside. I'm in a space now where I'm like, God, you have given me so many gifts. You have blessed me with such an amazing life. Granted, there have been things that have been traumatic and have blessed